So I'm trying to ship these 2 cans of Tim Hortons soup to Nunavut in Canada's north, and the shipping cost is brutal. $60 for 2 cans of soup. Nobody would pay that, right? Well, for years, lots of people in Nunavut didn't pay that. They found a workaround, a cheat code for free shipping. And as I started reading about it and hearing from the reporter who wrote about it, I learned a few things. 1, how the scam worked. 2, why the scam no longer works. And 3, why anybody who understands how crazy expensive it is to live in Nunavut probably wouldn't call this a scam at all. First, let me introduce Nick Murray. It's through his reporting I learned a lot about this story.
A woman that I spoke to in Rankin Inlet, Amanda Ichuk, she says at least 8 to 10 years people have been doing this. So it's been going on for quite a long time.
Nick is based in Iqaluit, which is very far north and very cold. According to the last census, fewer than 40,000 people live in the entire territory of Nunavut. And Iqaluit, which is both the capital and the biggest city, has like 7,000 to 8,000 people. It's a remote place. And Nunavut is filled with remote places. Many communities aren't even connected by road, so traveling by plane or by boat is often the only real way of getting anywhere. And that means shipping anything to that part of the country costs a lot of money, like $60 for 2 cans of soup kind of money. But there's a way to trick Amazon into thinking that you're easier to ship to than you actually are.
Iqaluit's actually the only community in Nunavut that qualifies for free shipping through Amazon Prime.
So this is great news if you live in Iqaluit, but it's not as helpful if you're one of 3,000 people or so who live a 2-hour flight west in Rankin Inlet. So here's how, for years, they've put one over on Amazon. So I'm on the page here. I've searched for Tim Hortons soup. This comes up here, Tim Hortons chicken and rice soup, $2.97 the can. So I'll add 2 of them to my cart. Subtotal $5.94. Now, for my address, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type my name, a street address. So I'm gonna put in 15 Tuglik Street. So that's a street in Rankin Inlet. And the address I just kind of picked at random. I think it's for a gift shop there. Rankin Inlet, province, Nunavut, postal code. So the postal code for this particular city, the entire city, is X0C0G0. Here we have it. Shipping and handling, $56.94. The total is $62.88. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my postal code. So instead of X0C0G0, I'm gonna write X0C0G1.
Well, first of all, X0COG1 doesn't exist. It's not a real postal code, it's a fake.
But none of that seems to matter to Amazon. My updated total, a fraction of what it once was. And shipping would be completely free if I had Amazon Prime, which I don't. But you get the idea. Now, hold on, Andrew, you might say. If the postal code is wrong, how does the person actually get their package? Well, keep in mind, the address on the package is still correct. It's just the postal code that Amazon uses to calculate shipping costs that's wrong. So somewhere along the chain of delivery, someone at Canada Post realizes, hey, wait a second, this postal code is wrong. Let me fix it based on the address provided, and then they deliver the package.
But when you think about it, like someone has to pay for that package to go from point A to point B, and Amazon doesn't have the infrastructure across the north to be able to deliver it, right? My sense is that it probably is Canada Post footing the bill for it. But again, we asked that of the company, we asked that of Amazon, and they wouldn't go so far as to telling us.
And Canada Post says it's a bigger problem than that, because when a postal code is wrong, one of their employees has to manually figure it out by hand, which takes time, bogs down the system, and ultimately makes mail delivery slower for everyone else. So it put up notices telling residents that any packages with incorrect postal codes would not be shipped and would instead be returned to sender. Dozens of Amazon orders have apparently already been sent back, even after they landed at local post offices. And it's worth pointing out, this has been Canada Post's long-standing policy for years. Misaddressed mail gets sent back. The only difference now, they're enforcing it.
Now we have to figure out another way to stretch our budgets, right?
Now, I'll admit, I had no idea this was a thing, but apparently it's a bit of an open secret. The top comment on this Reddit post asking whether Amazon ships to Nunavut, first rule of Amazon shipping to Nunavut, don't talk about Amazon shipping to Nunavut. It's a little more explicit further down. Just changing the last 0 to 1 is the easiest way, and just use a fake postal code.
I think most of the communities quietly knew that this was a workaround and a loophole, and a lot of people used it. Everything from, moms and pops to even some of the schools in Nunavut to buying school supplies. You can't put a price on stretching your budget.
Whatever you want to call this workaround, what is true is that the price of food is incredibly high up north.
These crazy high prices you're seeing are what the prices of products are after the northern subsidy has already reduced the cost.
Those cans of Tim Hortons soup that I can get down here for like $3, they sell locally up north for 3 or 4 times that price. Like here's $13 canned soup. Or how about a $15 bag of oranges? Canned juice for $10, a couple of bunches of grapes for almost $30, a case of bottled water for $80.
$18.49 for some wings and wedges, and $10.99 for this bottle of Tropicana orange juice.
There are reasons for this. The Fifth Estate recently did an episode questioning whether federal subsidies meant to pay for some of the exorbitant shipping costs for food were actually making their way to people's wallets.
Since 2011, the federal government has spent almost $1 billion on this subsidy, money that goes directly to several northern retailers. But Galloway questions how much is passed through to consumers. She found that for each dollar of subsidy, the retailers are passing on an average of only 67 cents. So a third of the subsidy can't be accounted for.
But it's also true that people up north have been grappling with this problem for years. And even when folks in the rest of Canada try to help, like in Yellowknife, when residents tried to ship $300 worth of bottled water to Iqaluit, only to find out it would cost $3,000 to get it there, or when a group of Ontarians assembled a care package, around 60 boxes worth of food, toys, school supplies, and children's clothing, they were floored when they realized it would cost $12,000 to ship.
And everything shipped here is, you have to fly it in. There's no roads, there's no trains, there's no railways. And so when you get into situations where you're flying stuff into communities, it gets very expensive.
According to federal data, between a fifth and half of northern residents are what you would call food insecure, which refers to people who don't have enough to eat and don't know where their next meal will come from. In Nunavut specifically, it was pegged at more than half of people, 57%. Large shipments of food might come by boat only once or twice a year. Otherwise, you have to fly it in by air, which is expensive. Freezing temperatures and permafrost make it impractical to grow crops. There's nowhere near the kind of infrastructure you'd need to support a local large-scale fishery. Hunting is a major source of food, but it's not enough. So for a lot of people, an important lifeline was Amazon.
Local stores tends to really inflate prices, and by not having the Amazon free shipping, you're really looking at more food insecurity.
People have said Amazon has done more for food insecurity in the North than Nutrition North ever has, particularly with the free shipping when you can get stuff at, a 200% rebate than what you would pay for it in the stores. For a lot of people, having those lower prices on Amazon combined with the free shipping made a really big difference in their grocery budgets.
So it's not really clear if there are any great alternatives now that the Amazon free shipping loophole appears to be closed. There are services like this one that try to offer competitive rates on shipping all kinds of things, from food to cars and everything in between, directly to Nunavut. But the bottom line, life in Nunavut is astronomically expensive, and it just got a little more so.